Why, hello there. Welcome to Chrysalis Chats. My name is Tanya, and this is where we talk through topics involving healing transformation. And I'm just going to share with you some tips and tricks that I found helpful along my journey in the hopes that you find them helpful along your journey of positive transformation. This is named after the process of metamorphosis of a butterfly, right? So a caterpillar liquefies their entire body in apoptosis, that segment of metamorphosis, before they transform as this incredible magical being that can fly. And so in that process of shedding the old to allow the new to come through, here we are. Today's topic is 5 earthly pleasures for self-care. Okay, number 1 is yoga. I love yoga. I hope you love yoga. If you don't yet love yoga, awesome. Welcome. May I suggest yoga? You can do chair yoga. You can do standing yoga. There's all sorts of variations out there and modifications. If you can move, and I really hope you can, if you can move, you can do yoga. There are so many free resources online. You can go to yoga studios and sign up for a week of free yoga. A lot of places even offer community yoga 1 day out of the week that's free or has a very small charge associated with it. Yoga is about the unification of mind, body, and soul. And that is what it's all about, right? And so it has a lot of transformative effects. It helps energy flow throughout your body. If you have an area that has been, in pain or otherwise ill for a long time, a lot of times yoga, gentle, right? Starting gently. You don't have to be a master. I still can't do a headstand. I have no desire to do a headstand, okay? But if you do, awesome. I'm so proud of you and amazed, okay? But point being, yoga can really help us in our journey towards healing, okay, by getting that body, mind, soul connection going. Number 2, the second earthly pleasure is water. And may I suggest distilled water for ingestion. Distilled water, why do I say that? I want to get a home distiller. Has anybody out there gotten one? Do you like that? I hear people really enjoy those. Distilled water is my preference because there's a lot of chemicals. The United States in particular, we are one of the heaviest users of opiates. And if you think about, those prescriptions going through our bodies and otherwise being flushed down our water system, that is not good for us to be ingesting in our water. It's not actually fully purified out of that water, and then it goes into our bodies, and our bodies are kind of like this biological sponge. We're upwards of 70% water. So if you think about the ramifications of the contaminants from the prescription end, as well as fluoride, I don't know how much people who are watching this are already up on fluoride. Maybe you're already fully aware, but fluoride is actually really toxic. And it's actually a neurotoxin, which means it's poisonous to your brain. There's been some stories about it being used across times, by various governments in order to make their people kind of dumbed down, which is the scientific effect that we would, in theory, see from small dosages over a prolonged period of time. But regardless of that, scientifically what we understand about fluoride is that it's a neurotoxin. It's actually the number 1 ingredient in roach poison. So if you think about the fact that it can kill a cockroach and that it's the primary poison used to do such a thing, that should make you think a little bit about putting it into your body, right? So anyway, distilled water is number 2. I'm just going to give you some variations of that. Tea. I love tea. I did not used to love tea. If you are now in tea camp, rock on. If you are just entering the realm of tea, cool, welcome. If you hate tea, hear me out. Tea is so helpful for a lot of reasons. It's soothing, yes, because it can be served warm, but it's a great way to take in plant chemicals that are very healing for your body. So if you're talking about green tea, there's a lot of antioxidants there, right? Antioxidant. What that means is that it has a stabilizing effect on free radicals, and a free radical is an extra electron that doesn't have a buddy. And so what an antioxidant does is it introduces a buddy to the freaking out free radical so that it can chill and not hurt surrounding cells and cause cancer and other manipulations on a cellular level that we just want to avoid, right? So tea, drink your green tea, people. Another one I suggest is Definitely rooibos tea. I love it. It's so delicious. It's such an elixir. It's truly amazing. You can drink whatever kind you want. Just watch out for the label. Make sure there aren't any added artificial flavors or sweeteners in there. I suggest unsweetened tea, or if you're going to use organic honey, so be it. If you're going to use agave syrup, that's another really good one. That's a vegan source. Agave syrup is awesome. And it has a low glycemic index, so it's good for people who are really trying to watch their sugar. I just don't like to ingest sugar because I've noticed over the years what it does for my body is cause a lot of inflammation, which is not pleasant, so it causes pain in joints and stuff. So I like to avoid it. Infused water is another really good way to get your awesome, hydration. Our bodies are over 70% water, so it's really important, especially when it's hot out or even when it's cold out. There's a lot of microperspiration going on when you go in between hot and cold climates. So anyway, infused water is good. I love cucumbers. If you love cucumbers, you're my people. Slice up some cucumbers, throw that in your water, let it set for a few hours in the fridge. Delicious. Same thing with frozen strawberries. Take some frozen strawberries, use them as little ice cubes in there. Divine. So easy, quick, cheap, all that good stuff. The third variation would be take some watermelon, throw some watermelon in your blender. It's delicious. Add a little mint, fresca all day. Okay, number 3, your third earthly pleasure for self-care. Self-care, so important, yet so undervalued in our society, but we're changing that, aren't we? Third thing is plants to eat. Eat your plants. People who eat a plant-based diet are way, and I mean way, less likely to have issues with their heart. Way less likely to have issues with cancer, with depression. All these things that we see plaguing our society, these social ills. When you transition to a plant-based diet, your likelihood of developing those issues goes way down. So I've been eating a lot of zucchini lately, a lot of kale, a lot of mangoes, and I just love it. I made this salad the other day. It had some lentils and brown rice and zucchini and spinach and kale, and it was delicious. Had all the proteins, greens, all that good stuff. Hardly cooked the greens so that it was, still living enzymes. Really, really good. Really, really good stuff. So eat your plants, people. It's healthy for you. Plant-based diet is the way to go. Number 4, your fourth earthly pleasure for self-care. Plants to grow. So of course we can eat our plants, but what about house plants? Or what about growing our own food? Even better yet, right? So if you want to grow your own food, you are my personal hero because you are developing an intimate relationship and you're also taking out a lot of unethical factors that go into a lot of food production these days. I'm talking about migrant workers. I'm talking about enslavement, flat out human slavery. I'm talking about animal cruelty. I'm talking about all sorts of injustices to the land as well in an industrial farming system. So you can grow your own food, you can garden, even if you're in a city, you can have a little plot. There's all sorts of organizations out there that do stuff like that. You can join a collective, maybe there's a neighborhood collective near you that does stuff like that. You can also grow houseplants, however. As you can see, I love to grow plants. And so they teach us a lot, right? As one of the original forms of life on this planet, plants are really cool in showing us the language of life. And it's not with a mouth and it's not with a verbal language, but they show us, right? So how they communicate to you as their person nurturing them, as their caregiver, is in turn reflecting your understanding of the process of life and what that entity needs. Maybe I'll do a whole other video on how to take care of plants. But for those of you who are starting gardens and taking care of plants and using that as a learning lesson for your own development and your own spiritual growth, congratulations, you're amazing. Namaste, you rock. Okay, keep it going. Number 5, earthly pleasure. Our 5th earthly pleasure for self-care, sleep. I think most of us understand the value, but our society doesn't often encourage people to get a really good night's sleep all the time, right? There's all these other factors. You're so busy. There's all these suggestions that you should be doing other things with your time, like going to the bar or emailing or working on a project, right? Whatever it might be, there's all these factors that suggest you need to stay up way late and get up way early. And what I've done is change that to where I'm going to bed much earlier and I'm getting up much earlier. And if you can, try to sync yourself with the sun. Trust me, the sunshine will help you get back in tune with the natural rhythms of your body. Okay, it's very helpful for that. Sleep is very important. It's a time where we regenerate. We get rid of a lot of toxins in our body. We actually wash our whole body on an interior level. And if you want to get spiritual with it, it's when we connect with some realms of deeper understanding. And a lot of important things can come through to us in messages or other forms of communication in sleep. Okay, so sleep is really important for having a balanced being, a balanced sense of comprehension, and I do suggest that you get some additional Z's if you can, and if you can't, then maybe look at where other areas of your life could maybe shift or change, and give it a test. You might very well be more productive when you start getting more sleep, right? There's a lot of studies that suggest that. You can look them up. I trust you to do your independent research here. I'm just sharing what's helped me along my journey and continues to do so. Lastly, just a quick note on sleep. If you're having issues sleeping, I suggest you consider checking out plant medicines such as catnip. Not the stuff from Petco or whatever, wherever you get it for your pets. I personally wouldn't go there to find it, but maybe get some organic catnip. Cat mint is another name for that. It's in the mint family, right? And it's a mild sedative. It's really good. I've had really great experiences with it, as well as chamomile. If you want to add lavender in there, you got a trifecta for sleepy time success. So that's what I have for you today. Those are your 5 earthly pleasures for self-care. Happy transformation. Thank you, beautiful butterflies. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, if you'd like to see more videos like this, and liking, just give me a thumbs up. Just show me that you want to see more of these. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Have a beautiful day.